have a look more at our top story, the Afghan President HAMID KARZAI and his announcement of the peace talks with the Taliban, which would happen here in Qatar. In the studio with us now Hashmatallah Moslih, used to work as an advisor to the former Afghan President Burhuddin Rabbani, that's the one before HAMID KARZAI, and currently an executive here at Al Jazeera in Doha, so it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
Maybe just explain for our viewers who maybe aren't completely up to speed with the story, why Doha? Why an office here? Why talks here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to say that this is a good development for peace, and I think it will be appreciated in many circles. But the conflict in Afghanistan has to be seen in the light of three tiers, a local tier, a regional tier, and an international level or tier. We'll discuss the middle one,
sure.
the regional tier. At the regional level, it is important for Taliban to have an address, to have a point of contact, and Doha is a country, or is a city, and Qatar is a country that is neutral to the conflict. It's friendly to Afghanistan, and it's a secure and safe venue for negotiations.
HAMID KARZAI wasn't happy about it though for a long. I mean, our diplomatic editor was telling us earlier this has been 3 years in the making. It's been a long way, and HAMID KARZAI wasn't actually that happy about it.
I think initially, as we know now, that the Afghan government was not fully on board with this process. Obviously, the Americans do want their soldier back, which is currently a prisoner of war with the Taliban. And before they leave Afghanistan, they do not want to leave behind any soldier. That's a military doctrine of America. And so therefore, they wanted to reach some type of initial agreement that this is possible before they could bring other partners on board. Okay. But I don't think it's too late. I think now it's time to indigenize the negotiations as we are indigenizing or localizing security in Afghanistan.
Now, forgive me, I did interrupt your answer before because you were saying that was the regional level and we know about the international level, but you were talking to me earlier about this, the ground level. That is where the guns will stop firing, isn't it? And that's probably the most difficult level to actually change things.
Yes, well it is. As I said, at the local level, this is where peace will be made or war will be made. At the moment, the way things are in Afghanistan, not everyone is optimistic. And Taliban are gaining strength in the south. They are a formidable force. They are a reality on the ground. The Afghan army and the security forces are not really tested yet. And the government does like to redirect a negative force into a positive force and have negotiations rather than the guns speaking. But Afghanistan is a mosaic of many ethnic groups. And this peace process that we are now in the beginning, not even in the middle, and we're not even expecting that we're going to reach some type of an agreement within the next 3 or 4 months or even 6 months or a year. But there has to be a comprehensive peace, and that peace must be a just peace, not just a peace. So therefore, different factions in Afghanistan must come on board. And I think that that's the difficulty that any future government will have on its hands. At the moment, the government of President KARZAI is an outgoing government. And I think there are some concerns. Does it have the mandate to negotiate peace? Or should we wait for elections or a government of national consensus that might have more legitimacy? I would say most certainly will have more legitimacy to negotiate peace with Taliban.
Just quickly, Hashmatallah, if we can kick it up to the international level, which we often look at on this channel, obviously. Again, you look at it and you think, the Taliban has been fighting the international community for 10, 12 years now.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand, and for our viewers to understand, how the international community might react to the idea of peace talks with a group they've been trying to defeat for over a decade.
Well, remember, initially the international community did not have any problem with the Taliban.
That's true.
Till the issue of Al-Qaeda came up. I think the position of the international community, and especially of the Americans, is that Taliban minus Al-Qaeda are acceptable. If Taliban can distance themselves from Al-Qaeda and come out clean and they say, we are a local force and we want to only rule Afghanistan, then I think that's acceptable. I think the standard for international community is peace and no terrorism. The venue does not matter, the mechanism does not matter.
Peace just as long as we get it, isn't it? Hashmatallah Moslih, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.